Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films. Great day today. Have one of my people that influenced me to get on YouTube. It's Coach Evans. You're probably familiar with him, Sip2TallyFilms. If you don't know him, this is going to be a good time for you to go check out his channel because he's got a lot of information on the guys we're going to look at today. He does the weekly roundup, Coach, which is one of my favorites. You have, of course, your regular film study and all kinds of great stuff. So, Coach, I really appreciate you taking time for me.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Anytime, anytime, anytime. I had some things I was working on, and honestly, they didn't pan out, so it ended up working out just great. We had some film issues, and actually, with our film issues that we talked about in our group chat, the little side thing that I wanted to do, I had the film issues that you guys were having with the Ravens film. So what I had planned on doing didn't work out, and so this slot just ended up working out fine.
All right. Well, it's about time I benefited from the film situation because I didn't have it. I was looking at your channel just to see the film. So
Uh-huh.
this is a bonus. And but by the way, Coach, yeah, I just wanted to thank you because when I came to a time in my life not too long ago where I had a lot of time on my hands due to an
Mhm.
unfortunate situation. So when I started looking on YouTube, I told you it was you, it was Edgar Allan and Engraven, and it
Mhm.
was like, all right, these guys are putting out stuff. I was blessed to learn the game from a lot of good people. So I'm like, I think I can add to this. So you're an inspiration to me. I always want to mention that, Tully, because one of
Appreciate
my
it.
favorite people. Yeah, man. So let's dig into it. You can see the numbers down below. Cleveland is 66.
Mhm.
John Simpson, also coach, 2020 draft pick out of Clemson, 76.
Okay.
And we'll get to see Sala come in the game later today. Let's just play these clips. I know you've broken them down. Again, check out Coach's channel. But we'll see what we can see from these clips right here together.
Okay.
This is going to be a combo block between Mustafa and Ben Cleveland as he climbs up to the second level there, Coach. Looks like he gets a pretty good push, aside from all the other stuff that happens in this play.
What I like about Ben Cleveland is he knows he has to get to second level, and Mustafa doesn't get enough of the. I think that's the one technique for him to get there. So he really just reaches out and grabs the guy because he knows he can't. Because Mustafa doesn't get hip to hip with him, so he just grabs both of them and really just blocks both of them because
Yeah,
he can't leave the guy without Mustafa getting on that top shoulder. So he just takes both of them and bear hugs them, which is technically holding, but they didn't call it, so it's technically not.
yeah, I think you can get away with that inside arm sometimes a little bit more, but the outside hook, that right hook, sometimes you're going to get called for that. But yeah, look where I paused it to coach's point. That's a lot of space right there that Mustafa should be closed. Ben Cleveland keeps pushing though, but good initial push. Ben Cleveland, my analysis coach, he had a rough start to the game, a bad rep, and of
Mhm.
course, I was really high on Jalen Carter. He was number one defensive player on my board, number one
Mhm.
player on my board, best prospect I thought since Quentin Williams out defensive tackle. But no excuse to Ben Cleveland. You're going to run up against those guys anyway in the
Right.
NFL. But I thought he rebounded and had a pretty good game.
Right. If you look at Simpson on this play against Jordan Davis, I mean the play goes away from them, but he really doesn't stop Jordan Davis from doing what he wants. Jordan Davis
Yes.
kind of manhandles him.
Yes, another beast, Jordan Davis. So Simpson is 76. You see him crashing down on the big nose tackle there. Uh, yeah, gets stacked up pretty good. Cleveland on the play, as you can see, pulling. And we'll
Hmm.
take a look at that. We'll go back. Cleveland pulls. He's a little bit out in front of himself, coach. Sorry for
Yeah.
that. But he gets the job done right there. Plenty of space, probably enough space for Justice to try to push this hole a little bit.
Right. He's just a little bit impatient. Justice is a little bit impatient. He should hit right to the right of likely, but he's too fast. That's really that's he reverses it, but that's all on Justice Hill. He had the space to hit that play side, but he's too fast. He got to be a little bit slower. If you started
Yep.
right there, he should hit right off right Likely's hip, and he got the space between Likely and Kolar. He's too fast.
So there it is right there. Follow likely in the hole. You can
It's
see
right there.
now.
It's developing right there.
Yeah. Kolar in a nice spot, by the way.
Mhm.
Tajay Sharp, left tackle. I thought that he looked pretty good for a preseason game as well. Falele looked real nice, coach.
And I really, with speaking on Falele, I he had that one bad rep that I saw versus Nolan, and Nolan. Keep in mind, Nolan runs a 4.3, and Falele probably runs a 6. But and I didn't extensively study Falele, but that was the only bad rep that caught my eye. Not to say he didn't have others, but Falele, I think he had a decent game.
Yeah, and he looked a lot more comfortable, just like away from the analysis. he just looked like he belonged,
Mm-hmm.
from a big perspective. I think he's got really good feet, but speed rush is always going to be a concern for him. If he has to overcompensate, gets crossed up, that's going to be an issue. Definitely a right tackle, but
Mm-hmm.
it would be nice if Lele steps up next year, coach, and gives us some options with Morgan Moses.
Right. Especially versus Nolan, because Nolan, if it's a speed rush situation where it's pass, Nolan's gonna be a problem for a lot of people running 4-3 and with the quickness he has. Nolan is like a wide receiver coming off the edge.
He was up there on my board with Zay. We're right up there, like the 11, 12 spot. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so let's see what we have here. We have Simpson at left guard. Not
Mm-hmm.
sure if y'all can see my cursor. And Ben Cleveland at right guard here still. So this was pretty much as good as it got. First team, so to speak, with Justice in the backfield, not Gus, coach. That's another topic, man. I could have you on for that one. Mentioned that in one of my videos the other day. Who you want to focus on, coach? You want to focus on Cleveland here or
Yeah,
John
we can go
Simpson?
Cleveland. We go Cleveland first.
All right, so let's watch Cleveland. He's going to block number 97. Easy way to tell on your screen right now. Looks like nice job with his hands and his feet, and he does a little that little pull down at the end. Looked like he caught his arm. We'll
Yeah,
get it in slow motion.
that's a decent rep. The guy tries a move, and when he tries it, kind of gives him a little forearm shiver, and anytime the defender hits the ground, I consider that a win for the offense. No matter
Sure.
how you get there, and I'm gonna tally that up as a cake. Bring on
Okay.
the syrup. Bring on the syrup. No matter how the defender gets there, in my eyes, that's a cake.
Well, I mean, it's not like the defender fell here. Like you can tell, Cleveland is the guy that caused that movement here, just with that
Exactly.
right arm.
Bam. That little shiver does that. And as strong as he is, any little movement where you're off balance, he's gonna put you there.
Nice job all the way around here, pass protection. You see
Mm-hmm.
Lele getting his guy, and then John Simpson. He's blocking number 72.
Right. Speaking on Simpson, initially he got a little off balance, but he dropped his hips, anchored
Right.
down, and was able to regain his balance and didn't give up much.
So
Didn't give up much.
here he's in kind of a bad spot, coach, and then bam.
Was able to sit down and recover. That's a good job. That's what good linemen do. They may initially, be off balance until they figure out the move and they readjust. Because if you go back one more time, you see Simpson's hands get wide. Look at him replace his hands, drop his butt, and then he start winning.
All right, let's check it out from the beginning here. So wide
Hands get
hands.
wide. There it is. That's the starting right to that left hand get wide because 78 kicked it out. He replaced him. He dropped his butt, and now he's about to start winning. There it is, right there. There it is.
And doesn't look like even Zay could run under that throat, coach. So that's a little bit off.
We talked about Justice Hill starting. We can also talk about Josh Johnson starting. But we like you said, that's another topic for another day.
Yeah, I mean, hey, coach, we could do a whole series together, man. And me and you hang out every night. I don't mind. But now we see Gus is in here with the second team.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's call this second team. We got Ben Cleveland over here at right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Is Nolan number 3?
Yes.
Line up across from him. Okay, so this is rough out here. John Simpson, right guard.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to see Big Sala at left guard here. So I'm just going to play it. I don't have the plays memorized here, coach.
Okay. And we can see what's going on. I don't have memorized either. All right, so this is a good one. This is a good one with a lot of them. You get a pull from Sala, and initially the pull is good, but he let Nolan slide off of him inside. You want Sala to kind of keep him where he can't slide off inside. Now, Nolan doesn't make a play, but you want Sala to be able to have enough control where he kicks that guy out and is not able to slide inside. When speaking on Ben Cleveland, I really like the fact where he doubled on that guy and watch how much space he created by kicking the guy in. You basically see the 3 technique disappear. Whoever 97 is, he disappeared.
I love Cleveland on this play, coach, and because number one, you see the push that he gets, just knocking out the entire defensive line, but he has the wherewithal to get 41 here.
Right.
You're not expecting to get that much push if you're Ben Cleveland. Let's be honest. And yet he still has his head up, and he's able to get a chunk of 41. So he does both things.
Right. He doubled down to the backside backer. I like when you draw plays and you write down the responsibilities. You write double to the backside backer, and he did exactly what you write on the card. He doubled to the backside backer. Now at the end, 41 kind of spins off of him, but at that point, the play should have been gone.
Right.
And is Simpson in on this one too? Yeah, he is. What's Simpson? Where is Simpson on this?
Simpson's a right guard. By the way, guys, he's played both left and right guard. When I had
Mm-hmm.
Sanjeet on, coach, he said that was some of the issues that, in his opinion, bouncing
Okay.
Simpson around from right to left guard. And he also said playing for McDaniels and then playing for the new coaches, the changing schemes, that he
Mm-hmm.
was a better finesse player, a better zone blocker than he was a power blocker. And that goes against the big, strong guy that Simpson, you would think he'd be better in the power scheme.
Gotcha.
But
So,
Sanjeet said he was better with the finesse stuff.
so this is Simpson Farley. I mean not Farley. That Cleveland's helping with the down block. Run it one more time.
Yes.
Okay, so that him. Okay, I got you.
It's kind of hard to grade Simpson on this one just because the help was
Farley
just
helped
so
him so
good.
much, right? I mean, I keep saying Farley, but Cleveland helped him so much.
Cleveland helped him so much.
Mm-hmm.
And the backer, by the way, I don't think that's a great job by the backer. He's just too close to the line of scrimmage here.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I got to give Cleveland credit for recognizing them in that scrum.
And it's crazy. As big as Ben Cleveland is, him standing next to Falele is crazy because Falele is that much bigger than him.
So, Coach, when you're teaching, I want to go back to Big Sala, who's pulling here, number 71. When you're kicking out your left guard, see if we can get our left and rights here. You're
Okay.
left guard and you're pulling right. What shoulder do you want to use to impact the defensive end here? Is that part of the problem here for Sala?
Let me put myself in that position. So if he's a left guard, he needs to pull and he needs to take his right shoulder, so it would be his outside shoulder, and
Yes.
attack the inside shoulder of the guy, the defender.
All right, so let's see if he can get his outside, his right shoulder, into Nolan Smith's right shoulder.
And he does. He's on the wrong shoulder, and that's how Nolan is able to slide inside of it.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the pull one more time.
The actual impact is great. It's just on the wrong shoulder. They shouldn't be head to head.
Right.
And that's what it looks like they are. They basically look like they're head to head, and they shouldn't be head to head.
All right, excellent. So we got a bunch more plays, man. We'll go ahead and let it play through. Gus with the second team, coach, man. This is going to be J.K. Dobbins' backfield coach. I said that the other day on the channel. J.K. is going to get a chance to eat, and I think it also bodes well for Keaton Mitchell's chances. And I'm a big Gus fan, but you got to read into what the coaches are trying to tell you. And, having Gus in with the second team, running with the second team at practices even. So here we go again. Cleveland at right tackle, Simpson at right guard, and Sala at left guard.
Not bad pass rush by Cleveland. And it helps that the ball came out quick too, so that's gonna help all of them. But on that left side, that's bad by Sala and Falele.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed with Sala, coach, when I saw him because he's getting beat with your basic like stack and shed moves. And, he's a college right tackle, so you don't see a lot of that, especially like the timing of it.
Right.
If you're a tackle and you got all that space. But he's just getting straight up with a basic move. It seemed like he got dismissed a lot.
Right. This is, I think I tweeted about this move. 95 beat him with this move about 3 times. This same basic move, no counter to it. This little, what I call it, a grip, dip, and rip. He beat him about 3 times with it. And granted, he didn't get to him. Had this not been like some kind of quick game pass, he would have beaten him.
Right.
And this is the play that I remember Nolan beating Falele on like bad too. But Cleveland and Simpson are fairly decent on this play.
Simpson
I
looks
like the way Simpson, initially came with the double and used his eyes to find the blitzer and slid and picked them up.
Looks like he picked them up pretty fast here, coach.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not a bad rep again. Simpson, Cleveland looking good. Not so much for the rookie Sala here.
This is a bad rep for Cleveland on this one. This is one of the negatives that I found on him. Now going to help the center, but overcommitting too much, not realizing that he had a guy. And one thing a lot of people say that Cleveland doesn't really show much emotion, and initially he didn't. But if this play, you see he realized he screwed up, and he showed it. It's like I'm pretty sure it was a loud, probably an F-bomb that came out right here because he realized that it was one of the plays where he messed up. He
Yeah,
overcommitted too much to the interior guy.
you could see him yell out something that wasn't nice at the end here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll look at this alignment though, Coach. It looks like, I mean, would you do something like this on purpose? It looks like the splits between, and I noticed this a few times. Mustafer and Cleveland were tight, and the right tackle had a longer split outside next to Cleveland. Is that by design? You think though, right?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I would like for them to have the same splits, whether run or pass. And I know some O-line coaches, they tend to change splits based off run or pass, and I think that's a giveaway. But I personally would like two. If it's 2 feet, I need it to be 2 feet, whether it's run or pass. But some change based off run or pass. It's tomato for some people. I like for it to be the same. But I think what messed them up on this one is that late shift. And I don't know if he saw it or whatnot, but still, he has to not overcommit and realize what's going on. But this is one of the negatives that I did give Cleveland on that one. And honestly, because that guy being shooting the gap like that actually, affected the play.
He did. He did. Now, eventually, the left tackle blows his assignment, and that's
But
what really dooms the play. But yeah,
but if Cleveland gets his guy, that who is that? What's the new back? I can't think of the name.
Melly Mel.
Yeah, if Melvin could hit that play side, he'd be gone. If Cleveland gets his guy. Because
I see it.
Farlele got a good block. If Cleveland gets that linebacker, Melvin can hit
Yeah,
that play side and be gone. And then that backside guy is not even an issue.
that's true. That's true. See, I haven't really broke down the film, but yeah, you could see that's where it wants to go. That's where that play
Mm-hmm.
wants to go.
Yep. But again,
Hey,
that's
coach.
one of the negatives I got for Cleveland.
So, coach, just in general here, I was want to talk to you about this for a second. Like anytime I've seen Ben Cleveland, even when he's splitting snaps, like I don't feel like I've ever seen like a real bad game. Like I'll see bad snaps, but
Mm-hmm.
when it's all over with, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it never looks pretty.
Mm-hmm.
He's got plenty he can clean up. He still looks really like as stiff as an athlete as I've ever seen. But
Right.
the results are the results, and he'll have those dominant plays like we saw earlier. Do you think that's fair?
Like yes, because like when he came in the Steeler game last year for Zeitler, not counting the game where we held guys out versus the Bengals. I think Zeitler got hurt or whatever for a couple of plays, and he played 14 plays. Out of those 14 plays, and I wrote down like the results, like I think 11 or 10 of those were positives. JK got like the first and second play, JK bust off like a 44-yard run. And then like the
Mm-hmm.
next play was like a 4-yard touchdown. We had way more positives running behind Ben Cleveland than negatives, when he played. Now I didn't count I want to say the backup game because that's really not fair because both teams play backups. Because the game really didn't count because we knew we were playing the same team the next week. So I didn't count that game at all. But in a game that mattered, when we had to put him in because of Zeitler being hurt, there was production running behind him. JK had huge holes. He was moving people. And I just, to me, that kind of gave him an edge at left guard. And to see him not being in that competition, it really throws me out of whack. And what people saying is maybe he's just not good on the left side, and that's kind of where I'm leaning. Maybe he's just not a good player on the left side because watching film with you here and then watching my film study, he's doing decent at left guard and left tackle. He's not great at all. I'm not saying he's the savior at either position, but he's doing decent at left guard and I'm sorry, right guard and right tackle. Maybe he's just not a left side player. I don't know.
Not sure, but yeah, I mean, he looks great. His run blocking plays at right guard. I just worry about him in pass protection against some of them elite three techs that you see
Mm-hmm.
right guards having to handle one on one a lot. Um, we'll go ahead and play a couple of more plays before we get Coach out of here. Heard you cooking tonight, Coach.
Salmon.
So there you go. It's good for you.
Need to trying to shed a few. That's a lot of mass pushing on people on that right side, boy. That's a lot of mass. that's Cleveland and Farlele. And what they do is it's 2 for 2. And they don't even get up to the second level, but because they push the interior D lineman so far, the second guy kind of gets rolled up in it. So they still end up getting there 2 for 2. That's a good job of Simpson, double teaming. They
Yeah,
don't get much. They don't get much, but it's not because of Simpson. It's because of Mustafa.
no, this comes off to me as a short yardage situation, coach.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say, oh, well, you didn't get 5 yards. That's a bad play. But you see Simpson be able to turn his guy back around.
Right.
And that's really what you're asking for. That's a finish.
Yep. To me, it's a good play by Simpson. He banged on the interior guy, then bounced off to the linebackers, which is what he's supposed to do.
So what do you think about Big Sala's eyes here, picking up this? It might have been a twist or a stunt,
Late,
a
late.
little
He got
late.
he got to get depth so he can see. You got to get depth so he can see. See, he married. He was too married to 95. You got to get depth so he can see that. So he got his shoulders. His shoulders are not square, not squared enough. But Falele don't help him.
I was going to say that.
Falele don't help him. That's just bad communication between both of them. Honestly, Falele should be helping him.
Let's take a look.
Falele is too committed to the edge guy because he got help from the tight end.
Yeah, you got a chip.
Yeah, and he's too locked in. Both of them too locked in to the wrong people, and they let Nolan kind of come free.
Simpson, on the other hand, looks like he's doing a good job with his eyes over there at right guard.
Him and that's been Cleveland. But the right side do good, but they're more experienced than the left side though. So they're probably doing a better job of communicating. Because Falele only got that one game where he was forced to play left tackle, and then Sala being a rookie. Well, Simpson got a bunch of starts under his belt, and Cleveland was there last year and got one start, and then he was thrown into that game. So you got experience on one side, and you basically got rookies on the other. So they're just it's more experience over there. Probably got better communication.
It is funny how it's such a fine line. You talk about a rookie and a second-year player versus a couple of third-year players in the third year. Yeah, they definitely have the coordination over there, and they probably haven't worked over there together a ton. I would imagine. It's pretty impressive for Cleveland and Simpson. I thought looked in this game, Coach. This was another one I just saw. Sala lined up across from looks like 72's in his gap. Is going to get him with that. What did you call it? A rip pull?
I call it grip,
pull?
dip, and rip. Where he reach out, grab him, and then just dip up under him and rip him by.
Okay, he's actually going to block 95. My fault.
Attempt to block 95. 95 across his face. He tried to down block him, and when you down blocking, what can't happen is let a guy cross your face. But then that puts him right in the path of the runner, which put him right in the gap, which forced Gus to have to redirect. Because the hole Gus was trying to go to, 95 showed up right then.
Yep. You can see Gus see it just like we saw it.
Yep. And Gus really ain't finna outrun too many people to the edge. Gus is a downhill runner. Gus wanted to hit it in that kind of in that B gap area, and 95 was like, "Hello." That's what I'm saying. Like Sala, like if we ran more zone type stuff, I think Sala would fit it perfectly. But we're a mixture of zone and power stuff, and he has to work on his power stuff. Now I think Sala down the line is going to be good, but right now he's not what we need, and that's why I think Ben Cleveland should be in that mix with John Simpson. Sala should be Sala. When you draft a guy that late, he's developmental. He shouldn't. I just don't understand. And the only thing I can just wrap my head around and make it content with me is that Cleveland just can't play on the left side. That's why I gotta put that in my head and just be content with it. That Cleveland just can't play on the left side.
That's one philosophy. But I mean, I saw him in with Powers, I believe it was, mixing and matching, and he looked okay. He looked okay to me there too. Like, and I don't like to speculate, especially when it comes to athletes. You don't know what's going on,
right.
But I feel like it's more of like, what's he doing in meetings? How's he taking the coaching? Stuff that like we have no idea. But like, I'm just looking at the tape, Coach, and I'm thinking to myself, there's no way you should put a right tackle, 6th round pick, rookie, brand new to the position, and give him a chance before Ben Cleveland, to the point where Ben Cleveland ain't even competing for the position. He's all the way over on the right side.
I agree with you 100%. It has to be something that we're not privy to. It like is John's doghouse? Is he still pissed off because of him not passing the conditioning test last year? I, I don't know. I'm out of guesses. Honestly, it behooves me
So,
to
so,
understand what's going on.
so that takes me to the roster, coach. I'm gonna get you out with this question here. Um, when you look at the offensive line, we got the four tackles with
Hmm.
McCarry and Faalele backing up, and
Hmm.
then we got the starting O line. Whether you want to put Simpson or Sala in there, plus Simpson or Sala as an extra guard, and that seems to leave one more spot. I mean, especially as tight as we are, corners and everything else right now. So you got your backup center Mustafa, who's played in
Hmm.
this league,
Hmm.
and you got Ben Cleveland. And I'm not sure if there's room for both of these guys, coach. And I feel like if we're trying to protect everybody we can, that we're going to have to protect Ben Cleveland because somebody's going to yank him up just based on his pedigree and his size.
Hmm. Um, Question: Has McCarry played center?
He has. He was the center in 2020 when his hand got all tore up and he got Lamar concussed in Buffalo. But that comes in a factor. And then my building block on that to you, coach, is that if we're still managing Ronnie a little bit, we might not want McCary to be the backup center.
I know Cleveland may be the odd man out. He just might be the odd man out, and keeping what's the center's name, Mustafa,
Yeah,
keeping
Mustafa.
him, and Cleveland may be from should be in the starting left guard to not being on the team.
See, I would be disappointed with that. And again, we're not close, so we don't know. But I just see the talent, and maybe the coaches are frustrated with something. Could be like, look, they asked him to take yoga, martial arts, or something to loosen up, and he's may not be into that. Like I do see the emotion on the field with Cleveland from
Uh,
time to time. But whenever he talks, coach, I'm like, man, I wish I had his anxiety levels, man. He don't worry about much.
Nothing, nothing. I mean, you would think chasing squirrels would loosen you up, but you never know.
Yeah. Coach, remember I speculated to you about the off field stuff or the meeting stuff? I called him Squirrel Thomas.
Right.
I run into one every once in a while. You're a baseball player. You know how it goes, man.
Yep.
He guess fastball middle in and caught one, man. Caught one. So,
Definitely.
Coach Evans, Sip2TallyFilms. Check him out. If you probably already know him, but I just appreciate you coming in and putting our heads together here, being able to look at this tape for you, Coach. Great guy. I love what you did with the roundup. By the way, what you've done with it. Coming up around a year, you guys have been together. You had a
Mhm.
meet up
Yeah.
with my guy Chris,
Mhm.
definitely my guy, my best frenemy, Hendo. Now, see, let me tell you about Hendo for a second. Hendo is one of the rare people that can get under my skin. I think he does it on purpose. So if you ever see me in the room and I'm trolling Hendo, that's
uh,
what's going on right
got
there because I love him, man. I think he's awesome, and he knows how to push my buttons, and I'll try to push him right back. So that's our relationship there.
got it.
And of
Got it.
course, Jose Brodney and Mike, you guys all
Mhm.
met together, bro. That's a beautiful moment for you to set up and interact with the fans. I thought that was great. How was it?
It turned out awesome, man. I gave a little. We had a little Q&A session, and I kind of gave a little speech about how it got together. And just thinking back on it, man, I kind of had to give the mic up because I almost got emotional just thinking about how random it was and how all of us came together and just jailed. Like 6 random personalities. Well, I'm gonna say five random personalities because obviously Jose and B are brothers. But and it just clicked, man. It clicked. And the fact that one of the nemesis of the Ravens kind of sparked it, James Prochet.
Oh,
So it came together with not an argument, but a debate about James Prochet. And it came, and to see people come out and want to meet us, it was a beautiful thing, man. It was a beautiful thing, and hopefully we can keep it going, for years to come.
that would be great. And try to get down there, man. I get my health together. I'm gonna come down there and check it out because looked like it was fun, man. Looked
It
like it was
was.
fun. Saw Justin P down there, right, from
He was.
his
Yeah.
channel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and no MC had tickets, and then he got the flu or whatever, the
He did.
COVID.
He did. He did. He had the. I don't know. I don't think he had COVID, but he had the flu. He had the flu. He had the
All
flu.
right.
So that's what that was. And he just said he didn't want to chance it and get anybody else sick. But Justin P was there. Dre was there. We had a few other YouTubers in there, so it was cool, man. It was cool. Good food. We had good music. Had a great time. Had a great time. Those 2.5 hours flew by. It was only
Oh,
supposed to be 2 hours, but they didn't rush us out, so we kind of took advantage of it the extra 30 minutes.
that's nice. Glad the place was good then too. That's always a plus. All
Mhm.
right, Coach. Well, with that, I want to say thank you to my football family. Love my football family. Shout out to Coach Evans. Coach, say goodbye to people for me, please.
Hey, appreciate y'all. Make sure you follow me on social medias at Twitter at Coach Evans, well, X or whatever it's called now, Coach Evans9, and all other social medias at Sip2TallyFilms.
All his links will be below, fellas. Check it out. One click away. See you guys.
Peace.